Hello everybody, today I want to talk to you about a really cool letter and word game from Topi Games. It's called Crashword. So as you can see here, I've got all the different elements of the game laid out in front of me. We've got 12 letter dice, we've got the coloured counters, we've got dice which have the colours for each player on each face of the dice, and then here we've got some dice that are going to allow us to adapt the difficulty of the game, so we'll look at those ones a bit later. So the first thing we're going to do is choose our colour. I've chosen mine, it's pink, so I've put my 2 pink counters here on the counter board. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take one dice and roll it to see which colour comes out. This is blue, so whoever is playing as blue would be the person to go first. Let's imagine that it came up pink, so it's my turn to go first. I'm going to take the 4 coloured dice and roll them here. And here I've got one pink one that's come up. That means I can play. If I don't get my colour come up when I roll the 4 dice, then it means I can't play and it goes on to the next player. And depending on however many pink squares come up, I'm going to keep those dice to the side and they're going to act as jokers for me. So I'm going to be able to use them to make extra letters and choose it to be whichever letter I want. So I've just got one, I'm going to put that one to the side. I then take the 12 letter dice and I roll them over here. We then turn over the timer and I have 30 seconds to find the longest word I can find using the letters that have come up plus my joker. Top. So I've been able to spell the word massive, M-A-S-S, joker, I-V-E. So I would then count up how many letters that makes, and that's the number of points I would get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm then going to move my counter forwards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once I get to 10 points on the counter board, so 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm going to move this one forward. That counts as the tens. So this one's going to go back to 0, and then that would be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I'd move it forwards again, and so on. So that's how the counter works. Now let's talk about the surprises you can have when you're rolling the letter dice. So among the letter dice, there are 3 exceptional faces that can come out. So if you roll the letter dice and you get a star come up, that means that everybody can play. So all of the players can try and make the longest word at the same time, and whoever gets the longest word after the 30 seconds is the winner. We can also have a face come up like this with hands on it. Now if you get the hands face come up on one of the letter dice, that means that you're not going to use the sound timer this time, and you're going to mime the word that you find instead of writing it. And whichever player among the other players guesses the word will be able to win some points as well. So if you're miming the word car, for example, and you say you can make noises as well for this one. In that case, the person who guessed car will get the points for the vowels. So they'll get 1 point for guessing car because there's one vowel, the letter A, and you will get 2 points for the consonants, so C and R. If you get the skull and crossbones come up, the first player to shout crash steals the turn. And so then they can try and make the longest word possible using your jokers as well, the jokers of whoever's turn it originally was. There are a couple of extra words to do with yelling crash. If when you roll the letter dice, it's possible to write the word crash with the letters that come up, then the first player to shout crash steals the turn. If by some chance it is possible to write Crashword, the whole word Crashword, the first person to yell Crashword wins the whole game. So you want to watch out for that. Now on to the special dice that are going to increase or decrease the difficulty. So first of all, if you are playing with a younger player or several younger players and you want to give them an opportunity to be able to get a few more points, you can allow them to play throughout the game with the green dice. Now, when a player has the green dice, they will roll it at the same time as they roll their letter dice, and depending on which face comes up, they have a constraint, and if they manage to respect that constraint, then they can double the points of the word that they find. So the constraints can be things like finding a word that's a verb, or finding a word that's a noun, or a word that's more or less than 5 letters. And all the details are given in the little rules booklet for that. It's quite simple. The constraint dice are a little bit different because they only come into play when a player shouts crash. And whichever player it is who shouted crash obviously steals the turn, and they can choose to take either a blue or a red constraint dice, the red one being difficult and the blue one being expert. And they can then use it once when another player is playing. They roll it at the same time as the player is rolling their letter dice, and then that player has to try and obey that constraint. So with the red dice, it's going to be a number of different constraints, things like finding a word that has to end with an R, or finding a word that's only 3 letters long. And with the blue dice, it's finding words that relate to a specific topic, like sport, geography, art, and there's also another mime face in there as well, so the person has to mime. Once the dice has been used once, it's then taken out of play again until somebody else yells crash, and then that person gets to use a constraint dice again. You can, of course, choose to play without the constraint dice. It all depends on how easy or difficult you want to make things. You can always start off just with the letter dice and trying to find the longest words possible. So as you can see, Crashword is a word game with a few extra rules to really spice things up. It's a game for ages 7 and upwards, and you can play with 2 to 6 players.